morning, ladies and gentlemen, it's Greg here again with a kit review of a Trumpeter Stug E100. One of these, I'm into me paper panzers at the moment, so I expect a few more different ones as well in the future. So as you can see from the box art, it's rather on the large side, the size of the barrel. Nice artwork. I do like the unfinished paint on the turret and on the barrel. And it's obviously a Trumpeter kit 135 scale, and its length will be 334 millimeters. The width will be 128.4 millimeters, and the total number of parts is 290 pieces. So there's not a great deal of pieces in the parts in there to build it. So let's have a look at what we've got. So on the one side here we have colour call out. It looks a right monster, doesn't it? It really does. It says, what if Germany plans for a new series of tanks late in World War II had materialised? The super heavy end of the I can't pronounce that bit, E series may have been represented by the E100 tank and chassis, with the Morse type turret and 2 operational artillery guns. The 15cm L46 or the 17cm Pak 46. Work on the E-tanks was abandoned before the end of the war, so they never got anywhere past the drawing set. I think they made a couple of holes, but not for this version because they're all the E100s, were all the same chassis. So as you can see, we have colour coding with a bit of PE in there as well, and decals, which is unusual for a paper panzer. We never seem to have any markings for them, that sort of things. So, and on the side it's normal box art, and you can see the kit number is 09542. And on the other side we have another good colour call out of the top and front and rear view. And that really is all there on there, tell you what's on the box. So without further ado, let's have a look at what we've got inside this box. I've had a quick look through for it, and nothing really thoroughly, but just a quick gander to notice straight away when I get the box open. Nice and tightly packed. Excuse me 1 second. Right, let's put the lid down there, and we shall put that. I shall just move my rubbish out of the way that I keep accumulating everything. And the oil paints and blah 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 and other things. So let's pop that there for now, out of the way. Right, so I'll put the box out the way, and the first thing obviously you've quick notice in the box is the size of the actual superstructure, the upper hull. It's rather on the large side, to say the least. As you can see, it's vast. It dwarfs the Ad Tiger. Dwarfs it. And you can see it's quite a nice detail on it. There's just bring this light up here a bit. I think that's better. And this one slightly round, and we get a better view. As you can see, come on, focus, 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 focus. Nice detail on there. Nice weld seams and nice, you know, where it's been cut. Nice markings on that, and little rivets as well. And you can see by the thickness of the actual front mantle how thick it was. The mantle on the front was bloody enormous. So quite nice details. A little bit of texture on there. It's not too much, but enough. And a lot of things are all moulded on as well, which isn't too bad. And then we've got the or say the rear bit, actually the front of the tank, and quite nicely detailed. Got the fans in there, gives it a nice chance to do a nice bit of weathering on those fans. That's a nice touch. I like that. And I've got the engine hatch cover, obviously go on there, and other bits and pieces. And there again, the front we have the which is a nice touch again with the cable for the front lights running. That's nice. I like that. So I do like the weld seams and the nice way it's been finished on the edges with the the cut steel as the a little bit of flash there, just on that little bit there, but that's neither here nor there. But as you can see, it's a vast bloody turret. Really is. So, and the detail on the side is quite nice again. It's just pretty plain. As you know, these are for the side skirts to go onto. I have a plan. I'm not going to put a full side skirt on because it'd be a shame to hide the tracks that I've just got as well. So, and obviously the rear. Nothing much on the rear at the moment, but it'll all build up nicely. So that's the upper hull. So we may as well have the lower hull as well when we as I get out of the packet. And this one's for Joe and Steve. I still haven't put a new blade on my knife because I haven't got any left. I'm waiting for them to come. But I've sharpened it a little bit on a steel I've got. So as you can see, the obviously it's a large upper hull, lower hull as well. A few nice hatch covers on the bottom, nothing really much else. And on the side again, it's pretty plain. There's lots of things to add by looking at the instructions to add onto the lower hull. So I would say it's it doesn't say what date it was made. No, it's just given us the 135 E100. So these are all any E100 variant there is on this in the Trumpeter, all but this base. They're all the same chassis at the bottom, just the upper hull's a lot different. Sorry, the upper hull and turret will be a lot different. Zinc marks in there, but you're never going to see them. So that's another. They say it's a vast thing, vast. So with a gun here of what's available from Trumpeter, and on the back we have a sort of a CAD drawing of what I'm going to build, the Stug E100, which is quite nice. I didn't realise that was in there. Yeah, the kit contains 253 parts on 8 sprues, 7 parts photo etched and 2 tracks. We'll get to the tracks shortly when we get there, but it looks quite nice. I didn't realise that was there, so that will be staying out. So when I get round to doing it. So the instructions are typical, you know, fold out. No, they're not fold out, sorry. And we also have a lovely colour. I can't understand why a lot of companies won't do this, because it makes a lot of difference. It really does. You've got the sides, the top, and the rear and front, which is a great help. And we have a colour call out for Mr. Hobby, Vallejo, Model Master, Tamiya and Umbral. So a red brown, which I've got, sand yellow, which I've got, red I've got, steel I've got, and dark green I've got. So there's not a great deal of paints needed, but that's nice. I do like that. I think it makes a lot of difference, I find, when you've got a colour call out. It gives you somewhere to work, you know, instead of just being a colour, black and white. Right, so the instruction manual is a fairly basic standard Trumpeter manual in booklet form. We have a sprue map on the front, which is quite nice. And by looking at this, all the parts are going to be used, which is nice. I'm going to start off obviously with the lower half of the hull. The suspension. I'll put a different kind of suspension on these E100s than the normal German tanks. Carrying on with the lower hull again, everything's fairly straightforward, nice clear and precise instructions as well. Yeah, really nice. Plenty of road wheels, typical German thing, has plenty of road wheels. But I think they're all the same apart from when you attach the large hub onto the front of one of them, which is obviously the inner wheels. I think that's the only difference, and obviously the outer wheels have a smaller hub. Yeah, as it says on the bottom of there. So we have all double wheels, so with 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, and there'll be 5 outer wheels. I'm sure it'll say that. Road wheel A, make 8, and it's 8 and 8 on each side, so 4 on each side, so you know, still plenty of wheels. And obviously I probably won't put these on a wheel, and I never do. I leave the wheels till almost one of the last things I do, because I like to paint them individually, and if they're all steel, which these are, then I can put the steel effect on the rims. And then we have the building of the sprocket and the return, the idler wheel. Fairly straightforward, and that looks nice detail. Tracks, I'm going to completely ignore that, apart from the fitting of the sprockets and the thing. Idler, and then we start on the upper hull. Fairly straightforward. A lot of small, the lifting hooks on both sides, a lot of small little lifting hooks, track holders on that part, and then we're starting off with the hatches, covers for the fans, more hatches, rear engine cover. It's a sub build, and obviously added to. And there's a couple of bits of PE added to it as well along the way. Yeah, PE, just one part of PE on there, I think, at the moment. Yep. Then we, I would presume, we will be carrying on with the, yep, still upper hull again. So we're putting the PE parts on the edge, on the fans and whatever. That's very straightforward. And the vision things for the vision blocks, hatch cover. Shackles, usual little bits and bobs on the hull, and then we start on the rear, which is a something again. Obviously, we got these bits to add to it, and the front, the rear door, and then obviously it's placed onto the rear of the tank, matches up to the upper hull. So I won't be doing. I won't glue it on this part here. I will just let it set on top of the bottom hull, because I say I won't have the tracks or the wheels put on yet. And then again we start the next part, which it looks like, sorry, this is a sub thing as well for the rear door, and then it's added to that part. I see, alright, that's me. Yeah, we'll see what that is now. That's no problem. It's fairly straightforward. It's not a big build. So then we attach the doors at the back. There's two doors. And then a few more little bits and pieces, the headlight, more shackles, I think it's a cover for a vent. And then we're starting to put the side skirts on, which I'm going to do, but I'm not going to put them all on. Definitely not going to put them all on, but I wouldn't be putting them on at that stage anyhow, so I'll work out the sync with this. And then we're starting on the gun, so we have the mantlet, which is coming on from the inside. Is it? No, it's coming on from the outside, I think. It must be on this one, yeah. No cement, obviously, to make it movable, and guns in two parts, but it's fairly straightforward. There's no problem getting the seam line out of that at all. So there's no little daft indentations. I think there's only the one line I can see that you might have to be careful on, that you don't take off. But as you can see, there's nothing really much to it. And then placing it there, and that's the build complete. But as you said, there's not a great deal to it, but it looks nice. So we'll start off with the first sprue that comes out the box as it comes. Just by looking at it, it has a lot of the side skirts, which are fairly plain. There's nothing on them at all. No texture, a little bit of texture, but nothing really. And then we have the the rear hatch, so rear of the tank. It's quite nicely detailed again, nice and clean. And the hatches, obviously the covers as well, for like vent covers and whatever. And this long part here is a part of the suspension that fits onto the bottom of the tank, and which you build the suspension up onto. And these are the parts that like to make it as if it's being cut or welded at the end, where the cut marks are, which is quite a nice touch. I like that fitted on, and same on the front, I presume, as well. They'll be added to the front. And there's a bit of old tools. You've got the wire cutters, the spade, an axe, obviously a fire extinguisher, which is really quite nicely detailed as a fire extinguisher, apart from the end piece obviously. But let's have a look where we are. Can we get into it? Where have we gone? Where have we gone? Oh, there we are. That's quite nicely detailed, that. Nice clasps on it as well. Quite nice. So that's all the nice on the, yeah, just the run-of-the-mill German exhaust system. Nice mouldings again, all nice and crisp. No flash, no ugly sink marks, apart from where they should be on the rear of things. And there's nice hatches on the hatches as well. There's no sink marks, so we can have them open or closed. Not great detail on there, but we can always scratch build. There's always something in the spare box that we can add to it and make it how we like, because basically this tank was never built. Apart from the low hull, I don't think it's the top hull was ever done. So you know, you've got a bit of artistic license, haven't you, with these kits. Same with the paint job as well. But I think I'll probably stick to the one that's actually in the box. That's the first sprue. So it's nicely detailed again. And we have another bag with the road wheels, which contain 2 sprues, both identical, so we'll only show one. And really nice detail. The wheels are lovely detail. Really are nice. You can see how big they are, they're quite large. And obviously with all the suspension arms, transmission hub, and that looks like the fans. And yeah, and then we have the return idler, which is quite nicely detailed again. And by looking at it, we have a locator so it locks into each other, which is a nice touch. I do like that when that happens. And you see even the inside of the road wheels are nicely detailed as well. We've got the track holders and the wheel hubs at the end. Little grab handles, all the small lifting hooks. So all nicely detailed. They really are. There's another fan cover as well. So there's 2 sprues the same there, so there's no point in showing you the other one. Right, and another sprue, a single sprue this time. We have 2 rear of the tank. Must be 2. I'm sure I've seen things. There's 2 rear hatches. Oh, that's some different. I'll have to check into that as we're going along. There again, nicely detailed again. I will presume maybe this is because it's a sprue from the E100 super heavy, you know, the normal with the turret tank. So a lot of these things will be repetitive, I would have thought. And the rear hatch. We have the mantlet. You can see for the size of the hole of for the gun that sits in, it's quite on the large side. And we have some more little lifting hooks. Don't know what they are. Oh, they're vision blocks. They're the periscopes, sorry. Which are quite nicely detailed. I'll probably put a bit of the oil. I've got some clear blue and whatever, so I'll probably put a little dab on them. Yeah. More hatch covers, I think, for the vent covers, I should say. Well, there. More little lifting hooks again. Don't know what that part. That's part of the door for the rear of the tank, obviously there. So that's fairly simple. Smaller sprue, nicely detailed again. And then we come to the main part of the tank, the big shooty thing, as Mr. John Moore would say, and of course Abby. So as you can see, it's a 2-piece barrel, but look at the length of the bloody thing and the thickness of it. And there we have the cover, the mantlet, and obviously there's the front mantlet as well, how thick it is. There's no texture. I might add a little bit of texture with this, with the there's a little bit of texture, if you can just pick that out. There's a little bit of texture, but I might just add a little bit more, just to be on the safe side. There's a little bit there, but I don't know, we'll see. I'll see when we get to it. Should take a nice wash, but I'm thinking worried about the paint. Will the paint cover that as well? I don't know. And there again, the cover for the mantlet, it's the gun cover itself. It's fairly plain. I'll have to have a look at. There must be a few people who have built this kit, and I'm going to look and see what they've done. There's a slight texture on there again, as you can just break out, but it's very, very fine. I'll probably put a bit of Mr. Surface of 500 on there just to liven it up a little bit. But the gun is going to be fairly simple to sand. As I say, there's nothing on there that's going to cause any problems. It's a very straightforward thing to file down. Like I say, I always put the gun turret together. First thing I do before I even do any suspension or anything on my tanks is I build the turret first, so I'll know where I'm going with it. Right, and then we have some more wheels and suspension. This is the last sprue. So we have a few more. So the suspension springs, the shackles, as you can see there, some size shackles. The King Tiger shackles were big, but these are even bigger. And then we have obviously the covers for the exhaust, and more road wheels, which are nicely detailed again on both sides. This is the front and that's the rear, obviously. But and then we get to the sprocket. Sprocket is lovely detail on the sprocket. Quite a large sprocket as well, but nice detail. Maybe some small parts again, look like track thing. I don't know what them little pieces are along here. I'm not too sure what they are. I'll have to read them. And then we have the spare track, which is nice. And on the rear of it, the cleats are really quite nice on it. And then so that's just the back side of the suspension. And then we have the yeah, that's quite nice. I like that. Even the detail inside the it's quite nice. A little rivet. Sorry, there won't be rivets. They'll be bolted on, won't they? But then again, very nice. So there's two sprues the same there. So I'm not point in getting them both out. Let's try to drop one on the floor. Roll my chair over it. Right, then we come to the leave the tracks to the last. And then we come to the decals, which is unusual for the these paper panzers to have any decals. The last one I built, the E100, didn't have any decals, so I had to put some on my out of my spares just to liven it up a bit. But this one will give you a you know, nothing much, just numbers and a couple of crosses, that's about it. But so you can do what you want with it, really. I like the red numbers, but there again I might be doing the turret half finish, so the black might come in even better, or the white. I shall have to wait and see when I get to that part. So they're quite nicely detailed, a bit shiny, but very, very nice. You know, carrier film all around the numbers, very, very little. You can just see where it's been cut around the number 3 and that, so they should come out quite nicely. I've never had any problems with Trumpeter's decals before, so they should be okay. Then we have a small thread of PE. I won't take it out the bag. So basically, it's just the engine covers, hatches. Sorry, the hatches for the fans and things. Quite nice and a bit chunky, like, but I suppose the tank's a bit chunky in it, so it would look silly with thin stuff on. But nice again. So we have the tracks. There's nothing wrong with the tracks per se, but because a lot of the all the E100 variants of the large fenders to go around the edges. There's not bad detail in them, and actually, if you look, the guide horns, if you pick it up, are hollow. Pick it up there. They are actually hollow, which is quite nice. There's a couple little pin marks in them, but that's here and there. So that's the inside of the track's quite nicely detailed. It's just the outside, just a bit flat, if you know what I mean. Just, you know, the details there, but just look a bit flat. So I decided I just thought I'd try something different for a change. When I was buying this kit from the same company, they were doing E100 tracks, workable tracks, for a reasonable price of £12. So I thought, well, in for a penny, in for a pound. So I bought some. I shall just get them in a second. There, so they'll go in my spares box. So I actually bought these. E100 tracks still going. All the E100s. See, this is the E100 Super Heavy with the turret, which I do have in my stash as well. I'll do a review of that at some point. So yeah, so it weren't bad price. It came from China, but there again, this company I've been using recently, 10 days. That's all it took, 10 days. So as you can see, we have 2 bags of tracks, and then we have quite a few sprues. 10 sprues, is it 10? 1, 2, 12 sprues of the guide horns, which are hollow again, which is nice, and the tracks to be added. I won't get them out, but as you can see there's nice detail on them and on the back. Yeah, hard work, but repetitive more than hard I would have thought, but apparently they're workable. So maybe no glue I wouldn't have thought. Yeah, so I thought I bought them just to complement the kit, because I don't want to put all the side skirts on. I want to show the tracks off, with them being so bloody thick and chunky. I thought it'd be a shame to cover them all. So that's what I did. And if they do work out nice and fairly simple to put together, then I'll buy some for the other E100 I've got. It's fairly straightforward, you know, it's telling you how to do it. Do little parts to go into clips in, and was just clip in. So yeah, fairly straightforward. And they say they are Trumpeter, so you know should be a perfect fit. So that's that little kit review over. If I get a chance today, I'll do the kit review of the E100 Super Heavy with the turret. So it's basically a larger version of the E75. Well, slightly a lot larger, I should say, but yeah, I'll probably do that at some point today. So I think that's about it, really. So I'll say thank you very much for taking your time out to watch this little video, and I'd like to thank all my new subscribers, which I'm picking up quite a regular pace at the moment. It's really quite chuffed with myself. And I'd like to thank all my other subscribers that have stuck with me since I started this last June, I think it was. So I'm doing quite well. I feel things are moving along quite nicely. So this is Greg signing off, and we shall see you soon.